Okay, so let's label this as equations. As you can see, there's equation number 1, right, and equation number 2. Now, the important thing to note is what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a solution such that when I put in an x and I put in a y, it solves this equation, and when I put in that same x and y values, I get 41 for this equation. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's look at question 1, question 2. Let's take the easier of the two to develop an equation 3. Now, when we look at this equation 3, the truth is that they really is still equation 1, but just in an alternate form. So I'm going to put that over here, and I'm going to say let's solve for x. That gives me x is equal to 1 minus 2y. Okay, and we call this thing equation number 3. At this point, things are fairly simple. That's the first step when we deal with simultaneous equations. You need to solve for one variable, and now we take that variable and we put it in the other equation. Okay, so Kothar, can you see this? Do you know what I'm doing so far? Basically, I've now solved for x there, but now I want to take that value of x and I'm going to put it in another equation.
Put in number 2.
But I can't put it in this one because that's exactly the same thing, so I'm going to put it in equation number 2. Okay, so on the next screen, I'm just going to write that down. X equals 1 minus 2y, and the question we had before is x squared plus 4y squared. X squared plus 4y squared is equal to 41. Okay, so what I can do now is I can clearly say let's put this wherever I see x, that entire thing must go into it. Do you see that? Are we clear? Okay, so in the x I'm going to have 1 minus 2y. That's the x value itself, and that x is raised to the power of 2, so that must be squared, plus 4y squared equals 41. Now at this point, if the algebra is competent, there's really nothing further for me to do. Am I right?
Yes.
Right, because the rest is, basic algebra. The whole section is algebra, the rest is basic algebra. Okay, but let's do it. Let's square out the first part. That's going to give me 1. That's going to give you negative 2y, so it's negative 4y. And then the last one is going to be positive 4y squared. Are you with me? Then we're going to, that was just squaring out this thing. Now we need to square out plus 4y squared. We just add that, is equal to 41. Let's solve. I've got 8y squared. Do you all agree with that? Minus 4y minus 40 is equal to 0, right? Everybody know what I've done there? I've just added like terms. 4y and 4y squared gives me 8y squared, minus 4y is there. Positive 41, I bring that over, and I get negative 41. Negative 41 plus 1 gives me negative 40. Okay, so from this point on, remember it's a trinomial, a quadratic equation that we need to solve using either factorization or what? Or the quadratic formula. So we had 8y squared minus, what was this now?
4y.
Minus 4y minus 40 equals 0. There's a common factor there, so I'm just going to divide everything by 4, which is going to give me the following. That's going to give me 2y squared minus y minus 10 is equal to 0. This is a fairly simple quadratic to solve, so what you do is you say, okay, I'm going to have 2y over there, and I'm going to have y over there. And then I'm going to have 5 over there, and I'm going to have 2 over there. This is going to be minus 5, that's going to be plus 2. Let's just multiply that out. I get 2y squared minus 10 minus 5y plus 4y gives me negative 1. From there I can clearly solve, and I can say, okay, therefore the y must equal to 5 over 2, which is 2.5. And here y must equal to negative 2. Okay, so there we have an overview of how we look at simultaneous equations. Now we are not done, because remember when we started this section, we had another equation. We had x equals 1 minus 2y. So now I take x equals 1 minus 2 times y, and this y value I'm going to substitute in there, 5 over 2. And now that gives me the following x value. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. And this one is x equals 1 minus 2 times negative 2. And negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Positive 4 plus 1 is 5. So there you can see, this is my solution set. Okay. I can state this as coordinates. So the one coordinate is going to be minus 4 and 5 over 2. And the other set of coordinates is going to be positive 5 and negative 2.